In my 20-something years of life, this is my first time ever fully being home alone. No boyfriend, no roommates. Well, I still do have a boyfriend and I still do have roommates, but my boyfriend attended New York Fashion Week. My roommates happened to go on a trip during the same time, and I had a really big booking for a photo shoot in the middle of New York Fashion Week, so I couldn't go. The first thing I found myself missing was telling my boyfriend what I had previously dreamt about.
I had the weirdest dream last night, and look, I'm a very vivid dreamer. I've had a lot of weird dreams in my time. I even ask people about their weird dreams all the time because I love to provide a safe space for those who always feel like when you tell your dream and then the people tune out and you're like, God forbid I tell you my weird dream, you know? So I dreamt that I had woken up, like it was time for me to get up. And mind you, me and this, take a shot every time I say mind you, because be mindful, you know? I've been awake since 6. It's 9:41 now, and I really am just kind of starting my day. Like, I already did, like, my morning rituals and routines, and I'm, like, really ready to get the day going. Woke up with a stomach ache, so I'm having my tea. Now that you have all the background info on me, like, all you're missing is my social security. I woke up at 6, but I wasn't ready to start the day. Like, I felt so tired. I had a really bad sore throat. So I just was, like, in bed for a while, like, really trying to go back to sleep. So I did go back to sleep, and then in my dream, I woke up, but I thought I had woken up in real life. And I started to hear someone in the living room, and I was like, oh my God. So I'm, like, looking around. I'm like, is that someone in the living room? No, there's definitely someone in the living room. So I'm spooked. And I'm like, what do I do? So I grabbed a weapon that I have in my room. And I'm like, you know, just even if you have a weapon, like facing somebody with a weapon like that is still scary. Like, I peer my head out and my living room is completely different. I remember that the kitchen cabinets were blue. And I was like, and there's a maintenance guy in here. And I'm like, and he's like, oh yeah, like I'm about to be done. He was like fixing the stove. I'm like, what? He leaves. I'm looking around in the house and I'm like, this is so weird. Like, this doesn't feel right. And then I looked out the window, because I have a window here too. But here the window shows buildings, and there the window showed an alley. And I'm like, oh, I'm in a dream. Whoa, what the hell? I'm in a dream. So I was gonna jump out, as one does in a dream. And then I was like, no. So I go to the door, and I open the door, and it's a maintenance guy. And even though I know I'm in a dream, like, for some reason, I interacted with him, and I was like, hey, like, can you please not just, like, come in next time? And I forgot what he said, but I closed the door, and I'm like, what? Like, why did I say that? Like, and also, like, I had to interact with him. Like, that was part of the script or something. And I remember thinking, I want to leave, but what if I get locked out? I started to think, what if this is my new life? Like, okay, I'm in a dream, but what if this is my new life? I'm an avid green tea drinker, but I usually have it after a meal to help me feel less heavy. But today I just woke up and just made the green tea, and I even added a little bit of a key lime in there. And I started to get so nauseous, like, so I looked it up, and it's like, yeah, if you have green tea or just like caffeine in general on an empty stomach, you'll be nauseous. So I wasn't planning to eat yet because I just wasn't hungry, and then the nausea wasn't making me hungry. But my mom made me a chicken soup the other day. She knows I'm like home alone for the week, and she treated me to some chicken soup, and it is delicious.
Most of my days consisted of editing, errands, and cleaning, and the first thing I found myself missing was my boyfriend's cooking. And of course, my boyfriend himself, but although I am also a great cook, I'm just so used to him cooking and sitting together and eating together. That was probably the biggest change in routine aside from the silence. I noticed that I could handle the silence, but I didn't really like it. I seemed to enjoy having something in the background, whether it be a podcast or a YouTube video. I really didn't mind being alone with my thoughts because they're not quite dark, but I'm just so used to the presence of someone being there that the emptiness felt strange, especially at night. That's when I noticed that the baby in me really came out. Growing up, I shared a room with my mom, then I left to college, but I had several roommates. Even post-grad, I had a roommate. After that roommate, I started living with my boyfriend, and we have roommates. So a fully empty house for an entire week just felt so foreign to me. I had trouble sleeping some nights, and that's what I mean by like the baby came out in me, because I'd be a little bit scared of the dark. So despite enjoying my alone time, I definitely don't prefer it. Usually when I see a recipe on TikTok, I just send it to a friend, send it to my boyfriend. But this time when I saw one, I was like, why don't I just bake? So that's where this pumpkin spice cream cheese cake came from. And here I am in the middle of the week, the moment we have all been waiting for, my photo shoot with Nocturnal Wonderland. For those of you who don't know, Nocturnal Wonderland is a rave, and I myself am not a raver. This is actually the first rave I'm ever gonna attend, and although it is for work, I was just very excited to scope out the scene. Modeling was my gateway into all of my creative ventures, so to still get booked 10 years after I started my modeling career, it just feels good. Looking back, this version of Drea has no idea what is gonna go down, but we'll get into that later. Just know I have a very long drive and a very long night ahead of me. Side note, I'm 5'2", and yes, I still get booked for modeling jobs. I feel like even in this day and age, people are under the wrong impression. So if you want to model, trust me, all it takes is confidence. There's somewhere you will thrive.
Getting to the Nocturnal Wonderland venue has been one of the hardest things I've ever had to do in my life. My drive was supposed to be an hour and a half. The most insane, traumatic accident was happening on the freeway as I'm driving here. So the time just kept going up and up and up. And then what I saw was just like, trigger warning. Car flipped all the way over. Super sad to see. Okay. I'm practicing gratitude. I'm practicing presence. I'm driving. I have to pick up credentials first. Why am I on a dirt road?
I started recording because something felt so wrong about me being here.
Then I texted people and they're like, why are you on a dirt road? And then I'm like, oh, what the hell? When did this happen? I don't know when the directions happened. The direction change happened. I'm calling my Uber right now, by the way. I don't know when the direction change happened, but I was so far off. Gotta go another 30 minutes. At this point, I have been on the road for 3 hours because I decided to start driving way earlier because I've never been over here, you know, and now everything is better. I'm waiting for my Uber to come pick me up so I can actually get to the campgrounds, which is probably gonna be like another 20 minutes. And it's 8 o'clock now. It's 8 o'clock. We're supposed to start first at 5, then I got pushed to 6 or 7. It's 8 now. Things happen. You make plans and God laughs. It has been the only time I've ever driven this much was for a road trip. And I probably drove 2 hours and then switched off. This has been insane. But now it's time to go and really do the shoot. I'm honestly excited to see what Nocturnal looks like and feels like, but at this point I'm just kind of really tired, but I know I'm gonna get there. I'm gonna have fun. Energy's gonna be high. It's gonna be a big sleigh, so I'll be okay. We'll be all right. Let's get on over there. I have a pulsating headache, but we're gonna be okay. Okay, so I'm on a crazy walk to the entrance. I don't know where it is. They told me this way. I'm like, is this where staff goes? They're like, yeah, that's where staff goes. But I don't know if these people know.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you. Yeah, honestly, the energy feels overall safe, but I'm not inside yet. I was supposed to be here hours ago. I hope the team isn't too mad at me. But, this is why I don't really like music festivals, because, I like to go on walks. But a music festival, you kind of I'm out of breath. I'm out of breath already. You kind of dress up. So walking in the dirt, that's what it is. I could go on long walks, but walking in the dirt isn't my fave. But yeah, I also just want to be careful about what I film because people are, I don't know if this is the right place to record. So I'm just gonna get little bits, clips, and glimpses of my shoot. I'm so out of breath. This is so embarrassing, but it is my truth. But yeah, I think I'm almost at the entrance. And yeah, they gave me the Wi-Fi, so I should have no problem communicating with the team. But I'll give you guys, oh my god, this looks insane. Y'all, I'm kind of
I'm kind of nervous. I get kind of overstimulated with the loud noises. My camera started to tweak, but we are so back. Not only are we so back, we're so in here. It took me a minute to find the merch booth, but we found the merch booth. I got into my first look and our home base was behind the merch, so these are some literal behind the scenes. I was really happy to find out that the team had got there just about 30 minutes before me, because I had built so much anxiety about them waiting for me. I hate to be late. But they were all super chill and they said that this is a very common occurrence. They made me feel super comfortable. Also, I've worked with them before, so I was like a bit familiar with them. And they were just letting me know that on every festival day, you can expect delays. So now that you guys know a little bit about the vibe of the Nocturnal team, let's get into the vibe of the people who attended Nocturnal. For context, the shoot was all over the festival and there were extremely bright lights on me. So of course, people were interested in what was going on and everyone was so sweet. The girlies were hyping me up crazy. I really didn't know what to expect, but overall the vibe was so pleasant. Everyone was just like in their own little world, and although I'm personally not into EDM music, I really appreciated all of the art, and it was cool to see that there was honestly a vibe for everyone. There were people who were evidently super lit, dancing like turn all the way up, and then I would see a group of friends that looked like they were all just gathered around having a picnic. There was couples, there was old people, young people, people in full-blown cosplay. One thing's for certain, this festival had range, and it's really nice to know that it's just the music that brings all of these people together. I left my house at around 3:30 p.m. I did not make it there until 8 o'clock, and we didn't wrap up until the very end of the festival at midnight. And then there was quite a long walk, and I parked my car where I got my credentials, which was 20 minutes away from the festival. So then I got dropped off by the team, and throughout this afternoon I had not ate, so I had like a 1 a.m. Cane's meal, and then finally I was able to go home. I had a couple more journal entries, so I will read them out to you guys. Okay, honestly, I hated to admit this, but I was getting FOMO from not being at Fashion Week. Even though it is very intense and so tiring, I was seeing everyone that I know post about it, and I just was like, damn, like I wish I was over there. But overall, I'm really happy that I put me first and I chose the booking, and I didn't choose to go where all of the crowd went. I just was like, you know what? Let me get this bag. And of course, I had so much fun at my shoot. Despite all of the trials and tribulations, I would not have chosen to do anything different. And again, I just feel so blessed to have gotten booked. And it was also really interesting to kind of get to know a version of myself that I don't really ever see, which is just a lone Drea for a prolonged period of time. I love my current living situation. I love who keeps me company, but it was nice to know that I can handle my own. I would say I'm independent and can be codependent at the same time. Like, different parts of me show up at different times. But I thought back to a more childish version of myself years ago, before my prefrontal cortex was developing, and I just think past me wouldn't have been able to handle this. Even just when it comes to my boyfriend, this is my very first healthy relationship, so being able to feel calm while we were a distance away was really nice. Like, I noticed I didn't have the separation anxiety, which I think is really healthy. Like, of course I missed him and I wanted him to be here, but I wasn't like, I'm gonna die without you, you know? Because again, he was gonna be back soon. If you're still here, thank you so much for listening. Make sure you guys like, comment, and subscribe. It took a lot for me to finish this video, so we'll see you guys next time.